Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On Zoom with us right now with a brand new camera.
Yeah,
Looks
look how
crisp.
look how crisp he looks.
It's Tuttle.
He's like live from the Zoom meeting. This guy means business. How you doing, man?
If you see, I have Patrick down in the bottom, but I use this account for a lot of my business meetings, HR meetings, and stuff.
HR meetings. You get called called into the office a lot.
Does HR know what you used to do?
Yeah,
Like, do they look at the YouTube videos?
I work in HR, dude. I'm the one that does all the interviews.
Oh my God, hold on a second.
Oh my God. That's what Tom did too.
Hold on a second.
He says he's HR.
That's the epitome of like Rick Ross saying he worked as a prison guard so he could get like
from
work
the inside.
From the inside.
Yeah.
Are you working on the inside? Are you a pervert on the inside?
No, I just look. Okay, so once they found out
You're an inside pervert, undercover pervert.
How do you know what's appropriate?
Like, you've never known what's appropriate.
You don't have any boundaries.
Oh my God.
I do all the interviews. So like they found out that I got this great recording equipment. So they'll make me call out of nowhere unexpectedly to employees that maybe have said something that needs to go to HR or maybe money.
Go threaten them with your microphone equipment.
So I do the interviews and then I send it to my boss and then they're the ones that
Wait, you interview them about what they did?
Yeah, well, I was like, hey, what can you? I mean, look, I'm unbiased going into this situation. I just want to get down to the bottom of everything. So, what can you tell me about the missing money that is, disappearing at your store?
So
and
they
stuff?
use you as you're the good cop to lure them into, and then you record these interactions with people, and then you nail them to the wall.
Well, also, that question makes it seem like I stole the money.
Are you role playing? You're role playing. Are you role playing?
Wait, you're asking me what?
That's not what he said.
I can tell you.
He said, "What is your theory about where the money's gone?"
Hey, Tom, this is Patrick in HR. You got a few seconds here? I hopefully I didn't catch you off guard. I know you're busy and stuff.
Hold on, are you Tuttle from the radio? I looked up your YouTube videos. I can't take you seriously.
Your hair's combed different, but I know that pervert face anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I kind of like try to deepen my voice a little bit.
Oh, that works on Tom. That's just like the fraternal order of police. If you just deepen your voice, you get him all day long.
Tuttle, let's talk about the videos you've been posting on social media and the videos you sent us today.
I have these ready to go.
And
okay, so I mean, it's a nice area that my mom moved into after we moved from the hobo fish camp, but there is a little encampment that is basically a hobo landfill. Like there's just garbage everywhere, and they try to keep the garbage down by burning it every once in a while, but on the other end of Edgewater, they had a shooting where like a guy rolled up and like shot and killed a bunch of the bums at the encampment.
All right.
So, that's not good. It's a bum war. I've got the videos playing right now. Twitch.tv/TomAndDanLive, at TomAndDanLive on YouTube. So, you can see these black and white grainy videos of what appears to be a little old man pushing his bicycle behind her. Is that behind your house?
Yeah, that's behind my house facing towards my neighbor there. But he was just sitting out there just wobbling
why you gotta harsh
his business?
Why you gotta harsh his time, man?
Well, is he on your property?
Yes, he's on private property. Like, I mean, the guy that lives next door is like 90 years old. All he does is watch horse racing all day long and his TV in the Florida room.
He just watches his horse racing on all day long.
It is on Tubi.
Is there always horses racing?
Absolutely on Tubi. Like I've seen.
Are they old horses?
Yes.
Everything's old on Tubi.
Nothing on Tubi is live, you idiot.
No, but
everything on Tubi is like 7 years old.
Yeah, but that old man
they got a channel for everything.
Yeah, it's classic horse racing.
He doesn't know how to operate Tubi.
It comes free.
Yeah, you don't need to know how to operate it. It's just your TV defaults to Tubi.
Yeah.
never be the youngest person living in a 55 plus community, because they think that you know everything about technology, and it's like I for some reason I can't see what's going on my TV. I can't get that. Well, or what do you want? HDMI 1, 2, or 3? What is HDMI? So I gotta walk all the way down there. I gotta go in.
Well, it sounds like you do know everything that they're asking.
Well, he does. Well,
you're working in HR at your own.
You just told me that you have such sophisticated recording equipment that your company asks you to do these like spying interviews on people. That of course the little old ladies and men want you to help. I mean, you play your cards right. You could be like an AV handyman around there, making a lot of money.
I was gonna say,
maybe taking advantage of these people a little bit. You know,
the old people are cheap.
They all have VHS still. Like, they're like trying to get me to like change the clock on their VHS VCR tape and stuff.
You just gotta befriend them and then get them to sign over all their jewels.
Yes. Be the beneficiary.
That's what all housekeepers do, right?
Yeah.
You befriend the elderly, you get to a point where you're irreplaceable and then they can't live without you. And then when they're in a compromised mental state, you get them to sign over their jewels.
But I do have a network of bums that
You can't say that anymore.
I handed them all Tupperware, empty Tupperware, and I was like, my mom,
Put
she
your
has
dreams
a lot of
in there.
leftovers. And I bring them leftovers, and I got people on the street to find out who this guy is, because I did bring a batch of sugar cookies.
Street snitches.
Yeah, so like, you know, you got to grease the wheels with some leftover food and stuff.
So this guy is this multiple nights or just one night that he hung out on his bicycle in your backyard? And what was he staring at? He was wobbling back and forth. He could have just been lost.
Well, I mean, okay, but it looked like he was looking at the electronical, like, little area.
Hold on a second, that doesn't check out. Hold on a second, you just said the first thing that makes me not want you to work on my electronics. Now, what the problem here is you got some electronical issues. All right, okay. All right, okay. Bye-bye.
Sorry. I mean, look, I know some of the advanced technology, but not some of this old school stuff. I don't know how to.
I feel it too, man.
Don't let him bully you, Tuttle. Come kill him.
No,
oh my God.
He's easy to kill.
But especially now, me and Tuttle used to be the cutting edge of electronical stuff. I mean, we were the guys.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
And now I find it difficult too. Like, I bought some equipment for our studio. It doesn't even work with our computer. Like, it's like I bought something that cannot be used for our computer. I have to return it.
What'd you buy?
It's this thing, the Stream Deck. Our computer's too old. I'm like, this is a brand new computer. It's not 4 years old.
Oh, it doesn't work with it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know, this is too new.
So it just won't even...
Oh, it'll work, but the voice changing... I don't have the right processor. I need an M1. It's just trash.
But I think a lot of these companies all get in bed together and they're like, all right, we're going to do an update. We're going to release some new stuff that will only work with your updated hardware. And it's just a vicious cycle. How many times have you had to like rebuy chargers and stuff for like as many times that they change things?
I hate it. Yeah, like my AirPod Maxes are still Lightning, but my phone is USB-C. It's ridiculous.
So Tuttle,
everything's going to USB-C now, right?
Yeah, that's where we should be in a couple of years, hopefully.
Speaking of new technology, I've been watching a lot of Mr. Beast lately because my sons are into it.
I told you not to bring this up because I thought this would make him really mad.
And so I'm actually getting into it. I'm starting to learn the other characters on the show, his friends.
It's happening.
Like Mark is pretty funny.
Oh my
Which one's
God.
Mark?
One of his goons that he hangs out with.
You can't call them goons.
But
hey, have you heard of what the final, like, he has this all planned out, and I don't know, like, if he doesn't have anything going on in his life, but if he ever like died or anything, like, the people that are left over there, they're going to do one of the games where it's like they all got to put their hands on his headstone, and the last one to pull the hand off gets the Mr. Beast company, and I that's like the ultimate.
Is that
like,
true? You made that up. You just made
no,
that up.
I swear to God. No, I swear to God. He's even talked about this on
well, this guy's like real life YouTube Willy Wonka, right? Like, I mean, that makes me hate him
YouTube
anymore.
Wonka.
Yeah, he's YouTube Wonka.
But also sad that he has no family or a wife or a boyfriend.
It doesn't
or
look like a
husband.
lot of fun. Yeah, it doesn't look like a lot of fun.
But anyway, so
what's his orgasm face, Mr. Beast?
As I'm watching,
You know what I mean?
He's doing similar. Speaking of the hand on the thing, that's an old radio bit.
Yeah.
And besides
Dancing for 24 hours, hand on the car, gets it. Who's got the $1 million key that'll start the Dodge Ram?
The only radio bit that he that it can't be done because radio has no money is the $1 $1 million. You go through the spectrum.
Well, no,
of,
radio could do that. They just choose not.
Yeah, well, they don't. They're too cheap.
They could do that.
So recently, one of his newest videos, he's buried alive, and then I'm like, "How you doing it?" And I wondered if you watched that, Tuttle. Did you see Mr. Beast buried alive?
I did see it, but okay, so let me ask you this.
You did it 20 years ahead of him.
Does he have an audience there actually watching him do this stunt?
That's an interesting. Okay, that is it. That is an interesting point, is that what Mr. Beast is doing is in Mr. Beast's world. He controls every aspect of it.
He could have faked it easily.
You're right. You're right. You did yours right outside of Charlie's Steakhouse on I Drive in a parking lot of Ripley's, believe it or not.
And it was a bunch of gypsies that probably created
You can't say
the
that,
box.
but yeah, it was
He's
a
in
bunch.
HR.
Okay. You know what? It checks out. It was a bunch of gypsies and carnival folk. It was a bunch of carnival folk and gypsies.
Yeah.
And Tom said that he didn't think it was very dangerous.
He did say that.
I said, I think you're.
Well, I
I
don't
disagreed. I said Tom's a crazy person. These men were unsavory drug addicts.
This was not done safely.
I remember the little fat guy. He was my height and twice as fat as me, and he sat it along. You know what I'm talking about, Tuttle. The little fat guy was in charge of the air conditioning tube, and it fell out. It fell out.
Oh, not to mention at 2 a.m. in the morning, an hour and a half in the summer heat, 100% humidity, no lights, no air coming in.
Yeah, the guy left to go get snacks.
Yeah.
Do you know the story? The little fat guy that was sitting in the lawn chair.
He's hungry.
He left to go get snacks, and the air tube fell out of Tuttle's thing, and Tuttle's down there roasting.
Were you screaming?
Yes. And
Why are you
Didn't you cry? Be honest. You could be honest now. Didn't you cry?
I cried.
He had a mental breakdown.
Because this was it. Because, I tried to push on that roof of that coffin as hard as I could.
Oh my God, I'd have a panic attack.
And nobody was answering him because nobody was answering
They're on
him.
lunch
Nobody was
break.
looking in the tube. Nobody was doing anything. And then the guy that was supposed to be watching Tuttle, the gypsy, he went to go get wrap snacks at 7-Eleven in a Mountain Dew.
And speaking of the steakhouse, all the Bright House at the time, they were filming SBK because SBK was supposed to be overnight watching me. He's holding court to a bunch of fans out in front of the steakhouse.
Well, Kevin's a showman. Kevin's a showman. That's like asking Cedric the Entertainer to hey, do you mind watching my kids? I was like, no, the guy's a performer. You can't do that. He's going to perform.
So, they're all fat and happy, just got done eating great steak dinners. They're all laughing as I'm scratching and clawing on the roof of this
Do you want to know,
coffin.
Tuttle, did you know that I was at that dinner? We all had a private dinner to celebrate Tuttle being in the thing. While we're at the dinner, and while the little fat guy that was watching the air tube, he went to get snacks. We're all inside. I still remember the manager's name. His name was Bill Dan Beaver. That was the guy's name. Look him up, Sam. Look up Bill Dan Beaver. He was the manager of the Charlie Steakhouse on I Drive. God bless him. I don't know if he's still alive. But Bill Dan Beaver's like, let's celebrate Tuttle doing this great stunt. Come on, steaks on me. We ate big steak. Tuttle wasn't there. He was in the tube.
Hold on. How long
wow.
did Sam look up how long Mr. Beast was in there? Because Tuttle, how long were you in the coffin?
48 hour, a little over, because everything. I was supposed to get out at the beginning of the show, and they were like, "We gotta wait for Bubba Ray Dudley to come in."
Remember that?
That'll make it better.
I thought it was Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
No, that would have been great, but we got old Bubba Ray Dudley.
He was in there for a week.
Oh, a week. Mr. Beast did it a week.
Wow,
no
way
way.
better.
No way. BS.
I agree with Tuttle.
BS.
I bet it was cushy because Tuttle
it was definitely cushy.
Tuttle was like pooping
Where-
on himself.
Yeah,
and
how did Mr. Beast go to the bathroom? Did they mention that? Did he
he
wear
had
a
a
diaper?
golden Saddam Hussein toilet in there.
Did he just
I almost
fast?
ripped my number 2 completely out because of all the Imodium I took, so I didn't have to go to the do number 2.
He tried to
And
stop himself up, but then it backfired on you, right? Did you get uber constipated?
Ripped your
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, it took like I didn't.
No, he's gonna claw it
wrap for
out.
like a week, and
Yeah, he
and
couldn't
then,
go, but he had to go. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
he had
no,
stopped
yeah.
himself up and gave himself a tummy ache, so he's down there with no air conditioning. He wants to rip his number 2 out. Yeah.
And then I ran out of the big mouth Gatorade bottles. I only brought 4 in for the time
and
I
he
was
can't use the
there.
little
It was
one.
filled up
Yeah,
with urine.
he can't use yeah, he
Oh,
can't.
and you were in the coffin with it?
Yes. What do you
Where's he
can't
gonna
do
put
that.
it?
It's
I
not
thought there was a
being-
hatch
No,
or
there's
something.
no hatch. There was no dumb waiter.
Gatorade bottles.
There was a
And you wanna-
tube. There was a tube.
And also, what didn't help is I took 8 Imodium before I went in there. All I had was Rice Krispie treats, and I think that even backfilled
they're
the
not good.
Imodium.
Yeah, they're not
and
good
it was
for you.
just it was concrete.
Did you have any
Straight
drugs or alcohol in there? I've always wondered that.
This was before my drug days, and it was just a crappy bottle of Tylenol PM. I wish
Okay.
I would have had something else stronger.
Do you remember us looking down the tube? There was a tube. It was
Yeah,
scary,
no, I know.
dude.
Listen,
It was
me and my
scary.
friends and Crystal went
It
down
was
there
scary.
and looked at the tube because
again-
I was listening to I'm like, hey, there's this radio guy doing this thing.
Sam, how big is the area Mr. Beast was in?
It says he was
Looked pretty
buried
big.
in a transparent coffin that was affixed with food and water. I'm trying to find how he used the bathroom, but I haven't found that yet.
He probably has like a separate. There's like another room.
Yeah.
Like there's a bathroom room.
Yeah, there happens to be a bathroom coffin
Yeah,
here
yeah.
with a bidet.
Because they got like unlimited budget.
Oh, it says Mr. Beast talks viewers through his peeing process, which was via empty bottles, and confessed that he had been holding his poop in while in the coffin for 7 days.
Amateur.
Oh,
Hold on. I don't believe
I
that.
don't either. I don't believe any of it.
I look at
Yeah.
Mr. Beast and I'm like, you do not look like a man that can hold a poop for 7 days.
Well, also like you know what?
Sorry, I'm making that generalization.
Like when
What about the Mr. Beast didn't have to be exposed to like deadly ammonia
Yeah.
before the concrete
That's
set
true.
in or whatever
we use
as well.
we use a all-in-one bag concrete that has the activator in it. So when you mash up the bag or when you expose it to like the atmosphere, the air around it starts activating and it starts heating up to cure.
Yeah.
And
then-
it starts off-gassing ammonia. And it was off-gassing ammonia into the tube straight into the Tuttle's coffin. So for like 7 hours.
Well, yeah.
Tuttle. I
You
say
know what?
this all
He
the time.
only actually spent 50 hours buried alive. But I think
Boo!
his goal was trying to
Charlatan.
be 7.
Charlatan.
Oh, he only spent 50?
Yeah.
But
Fake.
what Tuttle did 48.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah,
two
I
more
I think
hours.
what I did was more impressive.
I think so too. Way
because he had a big
scarier.
budget.
Yeah, I mean, this guy only did
Hired
50
gypsies.
hours. He probably
Hold
spent
on.
$100,000 on it.
Clear Channel was backing it. You've got more money than Mr. Beast.
Yeah, but I think they only
Oh,
had to
not
pay that
that.
company, if I remember correctly. I think it was like $3,500.
No, I think the company paid them, right? Or there was some sort of.
We
Oh.
paid them.
We paid them because
Oh.
they were the ones that they're a traveling group of gypsies that go around to radio stations.
Oh, yeah, I think
and
we
they
talked
go,
about this.
"Hey, what do you need? I can do buried alive. I can do buried in ice. I can do buried in fire. I can do blow yourself up. I
Water.
can do." What was the other one? There's
Water. It was like they put like this makeshift. It was almost like a hose you would drink out of in your backyard that they just put in your mouth with a pair of goggles.
Man, you'd be like a week watching mermaid. Yeah, and it was all just like rickety. It was all stuff engineered by like a
Like-
redneck dad.
Like David Blaine style stunts?
No. It was David Blaine styled adjacent,
yeah.
but they're all redneck. They were all like, so how do we do this? Well, you put the garden hose and we pump the air in the garden. It's all very simple, very, the guys were, every meeting we had, because I was in all those meetings, every meeting we had with these guys, the guys would come to the meeting in a stained shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
those kind of
Like
guys.
an oil stain.
You know,
Yeah.
I do
Working
wonder,
guys.
like, Mr. Beast has to be running out of new ideas,
Yeah,
right?
that's why he's doing radio bits.
But even after that, like, after
He should
Barrett,
be embarrassed that he's doing radio bits now, right?
like, how many more things? I mean, I guess there's probably an endless amount of like he's got writers.
He's
right?
also got loyalty now. I mean, you've got a certain sect of Mr. Beast listeners now that he can even like do something like best chair, worst chair, and people will be like, I still like it because you know what I mean. Like he gets. I think he's nice. So even if his ideas aren't that
really
great, we give him some leeway. I feel like because he's not a dick.
Is he really nice, though?
I think he is really nice. Yeah. I hate that. I want him to be a dick, so it's easier to hate him.
Well, would you be shocked if you heard a story like that was like shocking about Mr. Beast?
No, because I think he's smart and logical, and smart and logical people sometimes like they'll say things, and you're like, that's blunt and dickhead, like you know.
Yeah. I don't think he's crazy. I think he's just really obsessed.
Yeah, but if he stays rich long enough.
Yeah,
it'll get dark.
Hopefully, we see him go crazy because it's some entertainment for us to watch.
He's got enough money to hide it for a while, though.
It wouldn't be a bad, just out of a distraction, and because he's sort of harmless, it would be kind of fun to see him go like a little dark.
Yeah.
You know?
like there's some
turned heel. Like if he
a
went
little,
Hollywood
a little Mr. Beast heel. Like it would be. I think it would shock people if like he did one of his contests and he's like, and the rest of you get nothing.
Or do some Squid Games thing.
Yeah, it's like they actually shoot people.
Yeah.
Are we gonna all watch the new Squid Game in there?
I never even watched the original.
You never watched the first one?
It's good.
I've moved on.
Yeah.
I waited too long, and I'm like, I don't care anymore.
I can see that. That's how I feel with Breaking Bad. I
never
never finished it. So
never started it.
So Tuttle, you also told us you have a metal detector and you're into metal detecting.
What have you been finding?
Let's talk about that.
A bunch of nails and rusty.
See, I feel like
I'm sorry, buddy.
Ever since I was a kid, and I'm still like I romanticize about getting a metal detector and then just sweeping the beach and then finding little trinkets and things.
Yeah, I mean it's like.
But I don't
and
think
then going to Pawn Stars and them having to call in like an expert, and then I cash in for like $1 million.
I don't think this would work with you, and let me tell you why. I think like for me, like I'm sweeping it right, and let's say I find a coin.
Yeah.
And I get the coin, and then I pick up the coin. Instantly, my imagination of being an emotional person, I start looking at this coin and be like, I wonder if this was like some granddad was handing this coin to his grandson, and then it fell in the sand, and then the ocean went over, then they couldn't find. Like I don't know.
You're writing some story.
Yeah. I try to like project some sort of imaginary story onto it or write the history of it.
I don't think that you find anything.
No.
Like you have to put in 10,000 hours worth of work to find one wedding ring one day or something. You know what I'm saying? Like the
I just assume
people
everything's been found.
Aren't finding awesome things, or are they?
Do you want to know why? Because after the two hurricanes we had last year, especially the tropical storm that did all the erosion on the beach, they were finding like ships from the 1800s and stuff, and I was like, oh man, that would be so great if I could find a ship that was covered over, and I was the one guy to find it, and it's just junk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like there is no buried treasure. There's no rings. There's no jewels. There's nothing.
How do you know, though?
All you're doing, though,
just trash.
In a weird way, it's kind of like gambling because it's the okay. Follow me here.
Yeah, you're searching.
You get fired up because you're like, I'm going out to search. So part of it is that adrenaline spike you get of like getting your gear. You get your flappy hide on. You go out there. Then you're doing it. Then you get a beep. You get a little adrenaline spike there.
Yeah.
Then you dig, a little adrenaline spike. Then you pull up the treasure. It's a little box of something. You go, what the hell is it? You're renting a little adrenaline spike. Then you realize it's trash start over.
Okay, so that's it. That's all it is.
And it's like gambling. It's like a slot machine. It's like playing a hand of poker. It's literally you're losing.
It is gambling, yeah.
You are losing, and you will lose.
Over time.
But how long can you walk the beach?
It's the journey.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same.
Little spikes of excitement. It's
Maybe.
like why you play scratch offs.
That's my theory for right
now. So
now, my next thing is I want to get into magnet fishing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So
find a lot of guns that way.
Yeah, and shopping carts. I have some friends that do a lot of magnet fishing.
I want to find a body in a car.
Well, that's okay. Let's talk about this
because
I've seen these guys and they're influencers, like magnet fishing influencers.
Yeah.
And there's this video out there where like he goes and tries to find missing people that are always off the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Which by the way, local cops when the person goes missing, right? Their car's missing and everything. And then there's only one bridge in town with the water underneath it. Like they never thought, like maybe he's in the.
It's usually not a one bridge in town scenario, but go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like it's a small town because they call
check the bridges first.
Well, they call the
it's a lot of money to dredge up.
So the guy, well, apparently it's the money of a magnet because there's a magnet and a string. That's all. And then a fish finder because the guy he sits on his kayak and then he's like, oh, there's the car and the fish finder and he throws the magnet.
You got to pay somebody to go out there and do that, though.
And he found a body.
Well, that's where he paid the cops for.
He found a body?
He finds the car, and then it's the body of the missing teenagers from the town.
You'd be surprised how the money's allocated in the police department.
It's like a 35-year-old mystery, and then the local sheriff comes, and then
That's crazy. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
You do the scuba diving. There's this one guy. He's got like over 2 million followers on TikTok and maybe a couple million on YouTube. He's a scuba diver. And he just goes to cities where they got missing people and he scuba dives in all the lakes and all that stuff. And like he actually documents like as soon as he finds it, like he's over dramatic. Stop. Leave it here. I got to call the family first. And then like he calls the family like on video. And I'm like, really, man? Like it just seems like not something you would want to record.
Hey, what's up? I'm out here in my kayak. I'm in the spot where I think I found the teens. Your teens.
Who
does that?
Well, it's a weird, but that's his like I guess that's the price for finding your loved one that you've been missing for 20 years.
That does give you closure, I guess.
But you're getting paid from it though. Like I know, like you're offering a service. But the more views, the more comments, the more subscribers, the more money this guy's making. So he's basically making money off of your loved one's death.
But not from the family, so it's kind of odd where it's like he is finding...
it's in the crack there. I see what you're saying.
It's weird because, like, you're finding someone's family member that's been missing in the river. By the way, it's like, why? Like, so many of these things have happened, or at least, a handful of them. Doesn't that tell everybody that, like, if someone's been missing for a long time and it's weird that they're probably in the local river or waterway, their car like went off?
I mean, you would think they would try that, but apparently not.
Like this,
it doesn't seem. But like Sam said, maybe it is an economical thing where people go like, well, we don't have the resources or money to do that.
And if they don't have a probable cause to search it, they won't.
Yeah. And so then this guy is doing.
Yeah, he'll do it.
Well, and he's making the content out of it, but it is morbid.
Yeah, it is a little dark.
But it gives people closure. They find something.
They do a lot of blurring out, especially when they pull the cars up. You can see where. But like, how disgusting would that be? Swimming around.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see. Well, if it's really old, really old, I'm fine. But if it's like sort of fresh, I'm not.
So with the magnet fishing,
how much are those magnets?
I think they're cheap, relatively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like because it's
comparatively to like other things.
I think it's cheaper than a nice
$200
fishing rod. But it's like a super powerful magnet. You throw it off a bridge, but really the only thing that you could the head prize of magnet fishing is guns, right? Like, that's really all.
And even those you're supposed to turn into the cops.
I would say sword over gun.
Yeah.
If you find a sword, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but no one the stereotype is throwing the gun over the bridge after you murder someone. And
I know, but I'm more of a sword guy. I'm more of a sword guy myself. In the chat room,
I saw a guy like pulled up a couple of live grenades that were in a river one time, and they actually had to call law enforcement out in the bomb squad to like detonate them.
If you're law enforcement, you're mad that the guy magnet fished some grenades and then had to call you when you're at.
They're like, why didn't you just leave it alone?
Like it might have gotten you out of something you didn't want to do though. What if it's less paperwork? I don't know the deal on that, but I could see an element where you're like, I'll go look at the grenades over this dumb old lady that always calls me because she's crazy.
No, they're playing pickleball. They're Jersey Mikes. They're like, oh God, old magnet fishing Jerry found another grenade.
In the Twitch chat room, Innate Mass says there's a dude that went missing like 3 months ago. His glasses were found near a well in the family backyard. The cops never investigated the well. The family sent a GoPro down this week and found his body.
Oh.
Those are the type of stories that like do want to read more about. Like there was one, I think, of a lady in an elevator shaft where they just like, it was like the elevator malfunctioned, right? This is in a hospital, I believe. The elevator malfunctioned. The doors opened. She walked in the elevator. There was no elevator. She fell to her death. And then the elevator just carried on like nothing happened. And she laid there for like forever, right? Nobody.
Wow.
Those are the ones that I'm obsessed with. The ones where you just kind of fall into the crack of humanity. And then nobody, like it was an accident. Nobody knew the elevator was going to do that. And then you're just... There's no explanation for it. You just died.
There was a story.
Those are crazy to me.
I know what you're talking about. There was a story about like I think it was like a teenager or a young guy that was like basically he's working at this store like, and they were pulling everything out to put stuff.
And they found him, right?
And then he fell behind like some refrigerator or something.
Yes.
And then they never knew
for like 5 years.
That's what I'm talking
and then
about.
he was like a missing person.
Yeah.
And then they when they redid the store later or whatever, they found a skeleton behind it, and they're like, oh, here he is.
How do you not smell that?
I guess
it depends on the way the air is
It was
blowing.
like in between a freezer, right? Wasn't
Yes,
that what it was?
yeah.
Like it like froze the body.
And
or
they had, I think they determined that because it was cold, you didn't have the normal rot. Or
Yeah.
I know it's super morbid, but those ones are I'm obsessed with. Like where they'll be like you're saying, they'll be like redoing a building and they're moving bookcases, and then behind there they find an old woman.
That
just got back there and died.
10 years his body was there.
Holy smokes.
Crazy. And that's most likely with a lot of the missing person reports is like they, off into a river or a lake or some sort of wood scenario or fell behind something that no one saw or a well.
Or a whale.
Yeah,
Although
or a whale.
if your glasses are by the well,
Come on.
you're the cop.
Just look down.
And you're just like, no one said like maybe he fell into this well.
Absolutely not. That'll be the last place I check.
Like, shouldn't we at least put a light down there
No,
or something?
no, we're good.
You're just like, well,
Hello?
A case that I always think about all the time, just like missing people that they have absolutely no leads on. Do you think it's possible to just be able to completely disappear? Like I'll give you an
Harder
example.
now.
What about Jennifer Cassie, the woman here in Orlando that just disappeared out of thin air, and they don't have much at all.
No, they don't.
Like, could she have just like, I want to get out. I don't want to live this life anymore.
I don't think so.
I think that one was more of like, and Sam knows more than I do.
I mean, they
that was like
had video of someone dropping her car off at a different apartment complex, so
Which
it
leads
looks
me to
like there
believe
was some
there's-
nefarious things going on.
Something bad.
If
And
you're-
her
if you're
mom
mi-
and dad are so nice.
if you're missing and then
of
someone's
course.
dropping your car off, it's like that's a red flag there. You know.
There was another one I want to say that was I think it was at a college, where somebody at the library. It was just like an older person at the library using the facility just had like a heart attack and then happened to like fall behind like some books or like in a thing and then just laid there for a very like a year. And I'm like, how does that even happen?
Yeah.
So, Tuttle, I saw some video on TikTok about a guy that is apparently like an expert about like, starting a new life or disappearing or whatever. And
I fantasized about this.
And he says like the number one thing is that once you decide to do that, you can never use any sort of electronic device or anything tied to you or your name ever again. So it's like any phone, any accounts, anything at all, you never get to use again. And that's the first step. And then there's like, it's harder after that. But for that reason alone, it's nearly impossible for anybody to, like, where do you go with, how do you get money?
I mean, I'd have to go and take out a bunch and carry it with me, right?
Or you'd have to, like, just go and live under a false name and a false, like, you don't really need a social security number for there are a lot of jobs, but it's limited, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, but you just have to start with a new name, and then you have to get rent under that fake name.
Yeah.
So that's hard because there's usually the landlord wants some sort of check.
It's funny how easy I think all of this stuff would be in my fantasies. I'm like, oh yeah, I would handle all. I talk my way through anything.
If you had a bunch of cash, it may be easier.
What about in a remote island or a remote country? Like you could find something, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can go to Mexico and disappear for sure. But
I
although there's still digital records of things like you could never use your credit card or whatever,
right.
And so
no, you'd have to live
off the land.
Yeah.
You strictly live off the land.
I'm not strong enough to live off the land.
And I
don't have enough skills.
I'm such a dumb American that I'm like, oh, you can go to Mexico and just get a Mexican credit card with a fake name. Like, no, there's still procedures in other
visa.
There's still all the same procedures in other countries.
And you need to know Spanish. That would help.
But what if you wanted to become a sicario? Like, you could go there. Like, I think that I could get in good with the cartels and be a hitman, and like that's protection.
You are one of the only people I think the cartels would be scared of you when you showed up. You know what I mean? Like, we show up, we're a mark. Tuttle shows up, they're like, this man is crazy.
And you're right. Living off the land is pretty much the only way, but no one can do that for real. Like, you've watched the show Alone,
Too
right?
hard.
Yeah, like, have you seen what it takes to just, like,
I think if anybody could do it, Tuttle could do it.
No. I mean,
do it.
Because if you, like, don't...
he can fish.
Yeah,
that's true.
Go to a reservation and wed an Indian woman and live off the reservation, breaking horses.
Yeah. He's in HR. It's fine.
Yeah, you're right. I keep forgetting that.
He makes the rules.
I see a reservation in some other state. I thought you meant like a Florida. Like, if you're
Seminole.
I mean, the law enforcement, state law enforcement can't go on the property of the casino over there. That's owned by the Seminole tribe. Come get me. Right there.
You sound very Indian.
Come get me.
Yeah, but the Seminole police, like, I heard you can't mess with them.
But he's gonna get in good with them.
You know how they have their own police department, do they not?
Yes, they do.
I believe so. Do you know how you can tell? Ponytail.
There it is.
Ponytail.
Cheap cigarettes.
Braid.
So, anything else you've been up to, Tuttle? How's your job going?
That's about it. I've been losing my ass on Thursday night bingo, which I plan on breaking even.
Yeah, he has a gambling problem too.
He is an old man.
Yeah,
bingo, magnification.
Both of you guys have gambling problems. Have you won bingo any?
I cleaned up one night and won $175.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's at the end of the night where you have to fill up all the squares, and like I get in their heads a little bit because like
I'll make them forget to mark everything.
Yeah, I'll just distraction. Elderly people are easily distracted, and you can do that. They're gonna miss one here and there, and I get up and yell bingo and slam my my little card right there on the bingo desk, and they go over everything, and it's great. But I'd say it's been about 2 or 3 months now, but there's a lot of snowbirds that are back, and the pots are getting big, man. I'm allowed to bring a guest. Tom,
Ooh,
would
Tom.
you like to come down?
You want to do some bingo?
Bingo's not gambling. That's the slot machines of gambling. You're just
give it a shot.
Do you know all the bingo nicknames?
I know that they try to add the
the ones that they got, like number 8 is One Fat Lady, number 11 is Legs 11, 14 Valentine's Day, 21 Key to the Door. They got
hell?
There's got to be some sort of a hold'em game going on in there. That's where you got to get into, because that's where you can start really
cleaning up.
Yeah.
Take advantage of their mental
do you want to get in?
capacity.
I know there's a bar here in Edgewater that is a little shady, but they got a back room that I may or may not know the knock that you need to be able to get into the back.
All right, it's a Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, and then you got a lot of people, pool hustlers that are there as well too.
You should get into pool. You sure hustling pool and wear the brace on your hand, Tom.
No, you have to be really good.
Miami
at that.
Tommy.
The
Kendall Tommy.
Pool hustling's an old school grift.
Yeah, but that used to be a way that guys would like legitimately get off like the factories and get home and be like, all right, I'm going to make the real one. And they head out for their family and they're working all night.
Yeah. But you have to be really good.
Tom, me and you, I want to do a guys' night. Me and you, let's get into a little bit of trouble.
Slumber party.
We'll hit the town.
Let's do a pajama party. Let's just do a guys' night pajama party. Who's bringing the pee-pee dolls?
I don't want to have a guys' night.
Yeah, you want to have a guys' night. You have a bro down.
I'm ready to blow the sobriety.
Yeah,
let's.
Me too.
Have you been sober, Tuttle? How long?
On what?
No alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol.
No alcohol. I'm not saying I'm completely sober.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
weed
California
doesn't.
sober.
Yeah. Weed doesn't count.
Weed doesn't count as what people that are addicted to weed say, like me.
Yeah, when someone
Pills?
says they're sober,
Pills
I
count?
just associate alcohol or any other like cocaine or opiates.
Yeah. Marijuana
it's really just alcohol.
Marijuana is just smokable thoughts.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
It's
I've been smoking resin for 2 days, and I forgot how high it gets you.
Oh my God, you're smoking resin.
Yeah, I haven't seen my guy in a couple of weeks. I've been really busy in the holidays, so I'm scraping.
You don't have a medical
Yeah,
card?
get a medical card.
Go
man.
see
Tuttle.
Dr. Sean Latte.
I'm not gonna comment because I think you're. Yeah, I'll leave it at
He
that.
likes his guns. Okay, all right.
You're gonna have guns, and that's an old thing. You're gonna have all the guns and weed you want.
Yeah.
No one cares.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my dad left me an extensive gun collection. I got plenty of those. They're unregistered as well too. So
Oh my
it's
God,
good.
what are you doing, man?
I still got my dad's truck that I drive around to honor him. Even though I'm at 273,000 miles right now.
Oh wow.
Poof in the smog.
And so any love connections
Yeah, I was
lately?
gonna say. I was
Have you
gonna
been
ask about
dating at all?
Yeah, what about
Connection.
romance?
Nothing. I honestly, this is like the longest dry spell that I've been on.
We
in a
can
long
get you.
time.
We can get you laid.
Hold on. How long?
Tuttle dating game 2.0.
No, we're not gonna do dating. We're just cut to the chase.
No.
This guy needs to.
Do you even remember what it feels like?
You know what this guy needs?
Like, sometimes I go long enough where I'm like, I don't even remember what it feels like.
Oh my God! You know what you need?
You go long enough, you lose the urge to gratify yourself.
My
sometimes.
dad said.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, my dad said if you go long enough, you turn gay. That's not true. I would like to offer up. We got to find him a slam hog. Cut to the chase. No dating game. It's just like we don't have one listener that would sleep with him. Let's just cut to the chase.
We've heard about the nerd dong.
Let's just do the old. Let's just do the old monsters Christmas wish.
We tried
do
this,
it for Tuttle. No. This is not a dating game. You're not listening.
Okay, sorry.
You're not listening. To me.
We just gotta find one
I
woman.
want one of our listeners that's a woman to sleep with Tuttle. That's all we need.
Yeah, and you don't even have to sleep.
No.
Yeah. You don't
Get the deed done and
You don't even
leave.
need to lay down. Just stand up. It's fine.
Can we do? Well, I mean, I can stand behind a wall. And,
glory hole. You want to do glory hole?
Well, then we can add dudes.
Oh,
to
yeah,
that.
then we can add dudes.
Yeah, because
Hold on,
then
Well, that changes things.
You just made it a lot easier.
Yeah, you did.
So any girl or dude that wants to glory hole Tuttle.
This is the best.
Email Tom at Tom and Dan.
Yeah, let's see Mr. Beast do that. He ain't gonna do that.
That's
Take that,
true.
Mr. Beast.
We could make a glory hole here too.
Oh, make
Wait, we're
one.
doing
There's
it here
already-
now?
We already got one.
Whoa, I want to film it.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
want to
God.
film it too and put it on the Tom and Dan OnlyFans.
I just want to film Tuttle's face and then be like,
The only part we're gonna put on the OnlyFans is his O face.
Wait, are we going from above or a side profile shot?
Side
if we're doing
profile,
it?
No,
like
no,
a cameo,
no,
like
no.
an old cameo.
the glory hole wall is only neck high, so it's the camera's shooting your face.
Yeah,
Right
right.
in your face.
Yeah.
But I
But
can't
your eyes are
see,
cut off.
like,
It's just nose to mouth.
I can't see though. Like
No.
No,
you
you don't
can't tell.
do you not understand what a glory hole is?
Yeah.
You can't see who's on the other side.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It all feels the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
It's,
You
not-
know?
it's,
Yeah.
all, it's only what's in your mind is what's
Yeah,
happening.
just imagine whatever you want it to
Yeah,
be. But
I mean, you can literally-
the truth is
Will not set you free.
if you don't know
If you
what's
feel
on
a
the
cold
other
nose
side,
ring.
it doesn't make you gay.
Yeah, but you know what's on the other side. If you
Yeah.
really think hard, you can feel the whiskers.
No, I'm not for sure. I'm in my mind. It's a lady.
But
of
then
the
later, I'll show you the real video. I'll be like, this is what was actually
and you
happening.
can hear his dark cigarette cough.
Yeah.
His
you
neck
can
cell
you
phone
can feel
beep.
his nose ring rubbing against your belly.
All right, let's get it.
All right, Tuttle.
We'll put that in the works.
Yeah.
You still doing your show? Can people watch that?
No, he hasn't done a show.
No, I'm making too much money right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, man.
Yeah, but there's no time for the show. You can
Nah,
pop it on,
he's this
let
guy.
people
No,
know.
This guy's
No.
getting paid, man.
Oh.
I got metal detecting to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what your show should be about. It's just
Yeah.
you metal
Yeah.
detecting. Like people will watch anything on the internet.
Just call it trash. Here's my trash.
No, but you fake it
Tuddle's
like
trash.
But you fake it like everything else.
Yeah.
Like you're like, look what I found.
Oh my God, it's a pirate sword.
The people on the internet don't care if things are real. They
Yeah,
just
true.
They just look at it. They're like, well, and then they just keep going. And then the more fake it is, the more comments you get. Like that's the business.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. And then you follow them.
I could get a rusted metal ball and be like, oh, I just found a Civil War cannonball.
Exactly.
Yeah, now you're thinking. I mean, like, you can do anything. You can do anything you want, man. Sky's the limit. Just use your creativity.
All right, Tuttle, we got to go. It's good talking to you.
Miss you, Tom.
If you have any
We miss you
other
too.
issues with that bum that's coming by, make sure to film it so we
Yeah.
can talk to you again about
You
it.
need a speaker on your camera so
I
you
can
be
talk
like,
to him.
Oh,
I do. I talk trash to people that walk down the back street there sometimes.
start sending me those when you're like, hey, Bob, this is Tuttle. Get the F out of here. Like, I want those.
It does have a microphone and it records everything.
Okay,
so I
please
can
start
talk
sending me
trash.
those. I hate
And
your bike.
That's the content.
Yeah.
You talking through a security camera. Like,
Bum roasting?
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like that's what the internet wants.
I would watch the hell out of you roasting bums through a security camera.
For real? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not too over the top. You don't want to hurt him.
No, over the top. No one cares. It's
You
the
just wanna-
internet.
you just want to be mean to him.
And if he tries to come on my house,
Oh,
I can
no.
I
Videotape
can
that
film
too.
the castle doctrine.
All right, Tuttle. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, man.
Right.
No, okay,
Uh-oh.
he's out of here. It's always a weird ending. I think he's doing good today, though, right?
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, if you would have told me, you remember like 15 years ago, Tuttle, when he was living with the guy at Bubba Love Sponge shack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was
The
living
The
with
the S shack Tuttle.
He
He had to get away from there.
He was living with a special needs man in somebody's guest house, and then they were like constantly drunk and always on drugs and fighting with each other.
I would have said this is not going to go well, but everything
Turned
turned
it around.
Yeah. Got a good job.
Now it makes me think that he did it right because he got to do all that fun, crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
no,
still
no,
okay.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I always look at that, I'm like, well, at least you got to do it.
He's got the most interesting stories.
Oh, my
Like,
God.
anybody who didn't do that,
So many couches, so many crazy places he stayed, so many. Oh, my God.
All right, we will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Let me get some intros.
Yes, ma'am. Where's this go?
That is Monday 3 and 4, which is December 4th.
All righty. Everybody is sick.
What?
Who else is sick?
Everything canceled. One of Andrew's
Hmm. Tis the season.
It's like the flu going around.
You know, I never understood. Like, I learned this from COVID years. Is like, remember when everybody's like, oh, COVID's gonna heat back up because follows the same cold and flu season or whatever, same shit. And then it's because everybody was like is more forced inside during the cold weather, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, but why do we have the same season in Florida? Because that's not the case. Like, no one's all forced inside because of cold weather in Florida, right?
People
Like,
travel here a lot, though.
so is it
Yeah,
from
I think
the
it's
northern-
travelers.
So the
Almost
sick
every
people
single
coming down?
person that has traveled in the past 2 months has gotten sick. You're
Yeah,
on those
yeah.
planes, stuck in.
You know what's funny
nasty
is
ass air
that was my sickest I've ever been when you and I were doing
from
that
traveling.
about like 8 years ago when we were just fly crazy. I was sick all the fucking time. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
well, we got the flu that one time when we went to Philly.
That's
but,
the worst I ever got it.
Um,
That version of the flu made me a flu shot guy. That's the
yeah.
worst I've ever felt.
I haven't had the flu since then.
I had it one other
Dude,
time.
I had not gotten sick prior to this Even when I got the COVID the first time, like I was barely sick. I had like a sore throat one day.
Yeah, it's weird that
you and Andrea. Remember, I had this theory about
time,
ladies because Andrea didn't show any symptoms. You were like, "Hey, it wasn't that bad." No. Mine, I had the headache. I'm like, "Ah!"
But yeah, every time I got COVID, it was less and less.
Right.
That's what I thought that would happen.
Well, I'm guessing that the last time. Remember when I told you?
Mine could have been a combo though, because a lot of people got the flu and COVID from Fest.
And then there was that other sickness.
Yeah, it was just a respiratory thing. Is that what you're talking about?
No, there was this. My sister got it. It was this other like virus going around. That was not the flu and it wasn't COVID, but it was like she was sick for 3 days in bed. Like felt like the flu, but it wasn't either. And
the RSV thing.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
SVR Stevie or SRV Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Thursday was Judy from Pet Rescue by Judy, and
tomorrow you're getting your pet.
Yes. And we talked about Steven Seagal, and then Friday was Matt Mormon and Chef Tucker Riccio.
I got some. 3, 2. Hey, you know how I was worried about Samantha eventually suing us for everything we got?
Yeah, I've seen the file. I've seen the file.
Yeah, of all the things.
Too many
it's all
things.
documented.
Don't talk about it.
But now making up for it today on
Okay.
today's show.
What are you going to do?
Wait to see.
All right. Perfect. And then Matt Mormon and Tucker Riccio.
Hey, did you ever want to eat some flamingo?
that made me laugh.
She was like, what the fuck?
I think it makes people laugh, and then they're like, I like these guys. At least that's what I tell myself in my brain.
Yeah.
I got something.
Okay.
Hey, lately when I've been driving,
What happened to you? You're fainting? You were driving and fainting? Oh, my God. Only the weak drive and faint.
I'm back. Okay, I'm good.
You need a cold plunge.
Whew. Thank you. That's it.
I like how we method act in here. I'm pretending to fall asleep. Tonight on a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Tom and Dan welcome Judy from Pet Rescue by Judy. And they talk about Steven Seagal. And here they are. The Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris of radio. Tom and Dan. Tonight on a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Tom and Dan welcome Matt Mormon from the Obsessed Garage podcast and video. And Chef Tucker from Level Up Chef. And here they are. The Gordon Ramsay and Richard Blazer Radio, Tom and Dan.
Oh my God. Yeah, I thought about the. You were supposed to also sound like I'd passed out. That's why I was like hitting my head on the microphone. You motherfucker! Everybody's a fucking critic in here. Everybody likes to tell us what we're doing wrong.